Hi everyone, Andrea here. One of my first videos was a self-therapy video, and I think I'm gonna do another one because that's the one that has the most views, and I think it also might help me to do this because right now I am so anxious, and I have been anxious just about all week. And anxiety is, I think, one of my least favorite feelings to feel because, in my opinion, anxiety means that you have no sense of direction. So we're gonna draw a diagram. Okay, so this is like what anxiety is to me, at least the way I feel it. So if you have a circle and you're in the circle, and also keep in mind, like I'm anxious right now as I'm saying this, so if some of this doesn't make sense or my voice sounds shaky, that's probably why. Okay, that looks okay. You're anxious. This is you. The problem is that you don't have like a path. Okay, you have no, it's not like you're going this way. Okay? It's like you could end up going any single way. I don't remember if it was a Jordan Peterson video or not that I watched, but basically he was explaining, I don't know if it was even him explaining this. I just have this thing in my head that's like when you're anxious, it's like being dropped in the middle of the desert and you don't know which way civilization is or which way water is, and you just kind of, you have no sense of directions, you have nowhere to go, and that's the like mental equivalent of having anxiety. And I relate to that a lot because often when I'm anxious, I'm very good at identifying my emotions and figuring out why I have my underlying emotions and then how to go about like alleviating negative emotion through action. I think that's a really important skill, is to basically be able to identify like, I'm sad. Or no. For example, I'm angry. Why am I angry? Well, I'm not actually angry. I'm sad because someone hurt me. How do we alleviate this? Go to the person and explain why you were hurt. And then see if you can repair and rebuild. And then that will alleviate the hurt, which will alleviate the sad, which will alleviate the anger. So I'm very good at this sort of thing. This is such a ramble. I'm very good at that sort of thing. What I'm not good at is when I'm anxious, figuring out exactly why I'm anxious. Because usually, I think anxiety does actually require action, but when you can't figure out why you're anxious, you can't figure out what your action item should be. And I think that there are several things that I'm anxious about. I think some I'll talk about, some I won't. One being, basically, I graduated college in May. I have no real job because I don't want one. If I'm being completely honest with myself. The idea of getting a real job made me intensely anxious. Like so anxious, I would have mental breakdowns in my college dorm room. So I decided to pull up on that. I'm not gonna do that. But something I do love is to nanny. And I've been a nanny and a house sitter for my whole life, basically since I could start, like 16. So I said, I'll just keep doing that because I have a bunch of families in this town and my parents' hometown that I help out with. And I was like, I don't think that I'll be out of work. So I got a full-time 2.5-month long offer from a family I'd worked closely with while I was in college to take care of their 2 kids. And I took that. So that went from early September until Thursday, November 13th. That was my official like last 9-to-5 day. And my plan throughout that 9-to-5 was to save up money to have an emergency fund so that I can continue to freelance nanny while doing other ventures on the side to discover what I like. Because I'm like, what is life about if I'm not doing something I love with people I love? And if I know that I love to nanny, I need to leverage nannying and something that I love to fund figuring out other things that I love that can also make money and pay rent. So you're probably thinking, Andrea, this sounds like a great plan. Why are you anxious? I don't know. Because I have a great emergency fund. Like I have enough to where I'm like, I can eke by. Like I will be fine. Even if I don't end up nannying that much, I still have freelance nannying on the calendar going into the new year. So I really don't have much to be worried about in terms of income. I have several different plans for different ventures I want to try, one of which being life coaching. Plug. I need to set up an email and put it in my bio because I got my life coach certification last summer, and I've always wanted to do that. And I've had one client, but all of my friends are always like, you're the therapist friend, you're the life coach, like you should do this. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I can help you identify your emotions and what to do about them. So anyway, all this to say, I think that's one thing that I'm nervous for. And I also wrote about it in a letter to my friends because we have a shared journal. I said, I'm so proud of us for our resilience, commitment to ourselves and each other. I'm excited. The next few months will be entirely unpredictable. They offer everything and guarantee nothing. Maybe that's why I'm anxious. Maybe not. If not, I'm sure I'll soon find out. I love you guys. I can't wait to see what 2026 has for all of us. I 100% feel this way. I'm so excited for 2026. I'm so excited for what the future holds. But I think that part of the root of my anxiety is that I'm almost so directionless that I feel like I've kind of dropped myself. I feel like I have intentionally dropped myself in the sand, and it's time for me to find my own way to water, or almost like dig my own well. I like that. And that's scary because I don't want to have to lean on the security of a 9-to-5 to have income. Something I've learned about myself over the past few months especially, and I think I've always known this deep down, is that I crave and love nothing more than freedom and autonomy for myself. Not at the expense of others. I just love to be, I love the feeling of being free. And by saving during this 9-to-5 nanny thing, which again, I love to do, I've bought back some time for my own freedom. And now I'm one weekend into this, and granted, maybe I just need to give myself some time to adjust. Like, that could be all. Maybe I need to be a little bit patient. But I think there's some nervousness that comes with this gift that I've given myself. It's almost like, Andrea, have you given yourself too much freedom? Like, what if you blow it? But I think I need to trust myself. So maybe my anxiety is falsely telling me that I can't trust myself. And that's ridiculous, because if I could trust myself long and hard enough to get to this place where I sign a 12-month lease and tell myself I'm going to figure out how to pay for it, I will, because I keep the promises I make to myself. So I think I need to trust myself and trust that my emotions will continue to tell me what I need to do, and this is no exception. So thank you for listening. This is self-therapy number 2, I guess.